Hello people, welcome here. Yeah, it's a beautiful one. I'll just give you a breakdown of the cost implication of your registration to New Zealand as an internationally educated nurse. So if you are coming from the side of the world where we came from, you will need to do your credential evaluation with CGFNS. That's CGFNS in the United States of America, but the New Zealand arm of that CGFNS. When you finish filling your form, you will pay $300 to the board. To CGFNS. And when they are done with your credential assessment and all that and pass it down to New Zealand board, you will pay that board 485 New Zealand dollars for your assessment at that period in time. Now, in between that period, you are working with CGFNS or CGFNS is working on your documents. You know, you actually need to do a verification from your home country and maybe possibly other countries where you have registered and have been practicing as a nurse. So the cost of verification will depend on that nation, on that country. Like UK doesn't take anything from us. Nigeria charges as heavily as they can, and there was a time they were thinking of increasing it to a whopping 300,000 naira. And Ghana too thought about pushing everything over the board, but then they had a rethink, and we appreciate Ghana Nursing Board for that. So when you are done with that, in between that period you are doing your CGFNS assessment before it moves to the board in New Zealand, you will pay 159 Australian dollars to Fit to Work, which is the vendor in Australia that Police Criminal Checks has been given the contract to perform that checks for. So you don't need to reach out to our own home country police. You don't need to do PCC. The Fit to Work company will take that burden off your shoulders, a meaning cost of 159 Australian dollars. You know, that's not as huge as US dollars. It's not as powerful as pounds. So don't be agitated. And when you are done, when they are done with all those things, if you are to be invited to come and write the CBT and OSCE, CBT is 140 New Zealand dollars for both parts. They have part A and B. I'm thinking they are mirroring UK CBT in my head, but until we see the questions and we see the settings and all those things. But if for any reasons you have to receipt the part A, then it will be 32 New Zealand dollars. Honestly, I think these people are fair enough. That's just about 15 pounds. And the 140 New Zealand dollars is about 60 pounds or whatsoever. Can we just say to New Zealand board for doing this? So if you have to receipt the part A, you pay 32 New Zealand dollars. If you need to receipt the part B, you will pay 108 New Zealand dollars. And if you need to take those both parts again, then back to 140 New Zealand dollars. I think that's fair enough. Now to the real big deal, which is the OSCE, your clinical competence assessment at Nurse Mod Simulation Center. You will have to pay for the orientation and preparation course, which I don't think is bad. It's 500 New Zealand dollars. If they train people well, I think this is a very good amount. Then your OSCE examination, the OSCE itself is 3,000 New Zealand dollars. If you are to receipt that OSCE, they did not tell us whether a number of stations or whatsoever, but if you are to receipt that OSCE, you will need to pay another 3,000 New Zealand dollars. All this money will be converted to your home country's currency. But if I'm to think about it, I think it's not really very bad. And then you will need to pay for your air flight to New Zealand to go and take your OSCE. I'm not sure whether they will be hosting you during this orientation. If they are hosting you, fine. I don't know if the orientation and preparation cost is the 500. If it is not, then you will need to prepare for paying for your wherever you are going to stay during that period that you will be preparing for your examination. Yeah, it's a beautiful one waking us up today, and I think New Zealand is out there to make things work. But then we learned that they don't have so much jobs. If they don't have so much jobs, go and get that registration. If you get the registration, it may help you to get to other places. Yeah, I know some of you know where I'm talking about, but there are still other places you can even still actually get after getting this. I wish everybody good luck. Now, in the next video, I'll be showing you the new pathways to getting registered in New Zealand. Hold this, because I know many people have been asking me for the cost implication of embarking on this New Zealand journey. So you can have a rough estimate, rough idea of what the cost implication is. Love you guys. For a quick one, this is your registration cost for New Zealand board. When you are done with your CGFNS, this is how much you're going to pay. Verification and authenticating document with CGFNS is $300 US. The previous one you saw for New Zealand board, that is after CGFNS has completed all they need to do with you, and that's 485 New Zealand dollars. Pay attention to the denominations, the currency denominators. So because you have about 4 country money that you need to pay here, so you're paying in USD, you are paying in Australian dollars, you are paying in New Zealand dollars, and you are paying your verification authority in your home country or wherever you were trained in their own personal currencies. So that's 485 New Zealand dollars that we saw there. Then your criminal history check that I've talked bigly about will be 159 US dollars. Then the real deal, the one that is coming on now, the competence assessment examination. Before it used to be competence assessment program, CAP. Now it's changed to KAI or whatsoever we're going to call it at particular period of time. So you are paying PSV 140 New Zealand dollars, which is good enough, and you will pay, that's for the part A and part B test. If you are paying for a receipt of part A is 32 New Zealand dollars. A repeat or a receipt of part B is 108 New Zealand dollars. That's nursing knowledge. Part A is about medication safety. And I did say I was thinking it might maybe look like what UK is doing. So, but if you are receipting the two, then it means that the person will be paying 108 plus 32, which still comes down to 140. Now, when you are preparing for the competence assessment, clinical competence assessment, the one that you will go down to New Zealand to do face-to-face, the orientation and preparation program is 500 New Zealand dollars. The OSCE, the real examination, is 3,000 New Zealand dollars. And if you are receiving that test, you are going to pay 3,000 New Zealand dollars again. Maybe there may be considerations about this as time goes on, but I think it's not a very bad start. So, and there may be additional related costs from external providers, such as translation of original document. That's for people who studied English in who studied nursing in languages other than English. I wish you success. That is all about it. Success, success.